Hi everyone, in this video we're going to do a small demonstration about how to connect an XAF application to an LDAP. And if you're wondering what LDAP is basically a domain directory service. It's the equivalent of Active Directory for Windows. But in the case of LDAP, it's actually a protocol specification. So you might have different vendors. For example, you may have a vendor that implements LDAP for Ubuntu, one for Red Hat, and so on, and for all the different Linux services. So in general, since it's a protocol specification, it means that once you have the client, you can connect, and that's it. So you usually use it to set up users, passwords, and permissions. So as we know, XAF are just .NET applications, and in .NET in general, you can connect to any LDAP service directory. So here Javier is going to do a demonstration on the last implementation that we did. We have done this several times in the past. This is like our 10th implementation. But since .NET is evolving, this actually is compiled in .NET 9, if I remember well.
Well, I want to mention, Jorge, that this is one of those projects that doesn't need XAF at all, doesn't need XAF or nothing, but we actually make sure that somehow we include XAF because it makes it really easy for us to create an UI that we need to do this type of tooling. Because the first project, of course, as always, is in the unit testing world. So we test the concept, then we did the console app, so we can run it as a web job or anything if we want to. But at the end, we all want to manage in XAF. So
Why to run
basically,
it
it's
in a
really
console,
simple.
Javier? Why to run it in a
What's that?
console? Sorry that I cut you off. Why to run it in a console or a unit test if you can have a beautiful UI? Why not?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And of course, like when you want to present to the user and you do it in a nice UI, it's like makes the whole of a difference. Like it makes it accessible for them. So having said that, the project is really simple. Basically, if you guys have worked with any type of user management, Active Directory, and so on, it's basically the same thing. We're gonna put our server or port or base DNN protocol version, how we wanna authenticate and so on. And let me put a breakpoint so we can see it. Now this is the console app. It's right here on controller. So basically, we're gonna get all the users that we have in our directory. And for that one, we're gonna pass all the parameters that we have. We'll create our identifier, or server, and port, and so on. From there, we're gonna create our connection, pass other configurations like the protocol version, the authentication type. They're gonna bind it, and then I'm gonna request what do we want, what is the scope that we want. So basically, we need to get all the users, and from there, we're gonna iterate, and as always, just create users for if they are not already in our database. So we need to make sure that they might exist before. So with that one, of course, let's refresh. Okay, there was a small glitch, but we have it right here. We can actually delete them, get users. Let's take the breakpoint out. And you have here all the test users that we created in that directory. So as simple as that, but as always, another tool, another project that we want to share with the community.
Also, Javier, I want to add that we usually don't use this so much, but LDAP directories are really common in general in big organizations, especially if they use Linux for the servers, which is also like a really big use case, right? So since we know that with XAF we can authenticate with username and password and save it in the database, we can also authenticate against Windows machines and Active Directory. This is just another authentication case. So I guess even though it's not that common anymore, because everyone is using OAuth or things like that, it's still a really valid case for big organizations, because the bigger the organization is, the slower they move forward into new technologies like OAuth. So LDAP is still like super common. That's it.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you in the